At this food bank in Peebles, demand is stacking up. The manager here has welcomed the Scottish Government's plans to help address child poverty. But she says the families they support need more money now.
Until there's actual cash in people's pockets, it's just politics. This is the third winter on the trot that people are in a situation where they are having to make really hard decisions and there is no spare cash. They need help. They need help now, not next year, not next April, not next winter. They need it right now.
The Scottish Government announced plans to mitigate the two-child benefit cap, a Westminster policy which means most families aren't entitled to some benefits for more than 2 children. Ministers said this would be introduced from 2026, but they need the UK Government to tell them how many people in Scotland are affected.
The Scottish Government has announced its proposals to end the heinous two-child limit, and it is causing misery for children and families in Scotland. We will take that action because the UK Labour Government has to date failed to do so.
I don't accept that this is just one thing that needs to happen. If you're really going to tackle child poverty, you've got to look at housing, you've got to look at health, you've got to look at education. I know it's easy to think there's one silver bullet, and if you just do that one thing, that will change everything. I don't accept that, but we've got a strategy that we're working on to ensure that we do what the last Labour government did, which is to drive down child poverty.
Scottish Labour, though, sought to draw a line between their opposition to the cap and this budget.
The two-child benefit cap is not being lifted in this budget. It's a policy announcement without a penny, a policy that we want to support because we don't support the two-child benefit cap, and we'll work constructively with the Scottish Government on that, but it has to be looked at separately from the budget.
Yesterday's announcement also promised £768 million for housing, reversing the funding cut for social housing from last year.
You know, it's good news, but it's kind of qualified good news. So the increase in the affordable housing budget gets us back to where we were last year. We're not going to fix it in any one single year. So the real key now that the budget's been increased again is to sustain or increase it from that level.
Eildon Housing is building a new development here in Peebles in the new year, but demand is huge.
So it's not uncommon when we build a new house and we put it up for let to have in excess of 100 bids for a single house.
The SNP have set out the building blocks for their budget, but they need support from some opposition MSPs to get it through. Isla Todd, ITV News.